All right, we are live. So we wanted to do this live video, and our live video is actually about Waverly Hills, which we just investigated within the last few days. So what's your take on Waverly Hills?
Um, wow. Where do I even start?
It's a wild place.
It definitely lived up to the expectations.
And some, I think.
Yeah, and some. I can just say I'm not one to get, even though we do this, do these paranormal investigations. I'm not one to get spooked. So with that being said, I got a little spooked that night, to the point that I actually ran, from a loud bang, which, was later discovered, that it was a door being slammed open that we shut. We broke up into teams. There was 13 of us that actually went.
And that is the Elizabethtown Paranormal Society. If you ever want to check us out with our actual paranormal group, you could either type in the Elizabethtown Paranormal Society, or you could also type in TEPS, TEPS, and we will be at the top of the screen.
Yes.
And thank you if you follow, like, share, and subscribe our channels. We appreciate it.
Yes. So we had our entire team, which consists of what? 2, 4,
I think
6.
there were originally 8 of us.
Yes, there's 8 of us. And we had what? 4?
We had your brother. We had Joe.
Yeah, we had.
Then we had Jessica, Jason. Well, they're the original people.
Yes.
Me, you, Jessica, Jason, Victor, Megan, Kristen and her husband. Then we had your brother and Joe.
And then Melissa and.
I can't remember the other one's name.
Oh my goodness gracious!
But there was actually 12 of us, not 13.
Yes.
We actually had one person that did not show up. But the good news is we did search every part of that building that we were allowed to.
Yeah, there were new areas in the building that were actually opened up recently that we got to explore. We were told that we were like the third or fourth team, or third or fourth private investigation since those areas of the building were opened up. It was the building itself, wow. It was, for being so old, the actual beauty of the building, amidst all the, the construction and the things that have happened, the graffiti and everything, the building itself is absolutely beautiful. There are 5 stories to the building. We explored every inch of that building that we were allowed in. We were there from 7:30 until like 10 after 4 in the morning.
Yep.
We had an absolute blast.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we searched everything. There was not one spot that we did not hit. There was one side of the building that was closed off, but I have, I truly believe that if we had, that end of the building opened up for us, we would have hit all of that too. We were constantly moving. We didn't really take no breaks. Although that we got there at 7:30, the tour was about 2 hours long. But I mean, the guy who did the tour with us, awesome guy, man. He did a heck of a job. He's wanting to go on an investigation with us. And I mean, he was just a really cool guy. He explained that you can sign up to be volunteers to do help people with future investigations, whatnot. That includes locking up the building at night and stuff like that. And I got to give him praise, man, because at the end of each investigation, this man or whoever's involved with these setting up these investigations and doing the tour at the end of each night, they have to go throughout that whole building by themselves and make sure everything is locked. And they have to send a photo that it was locked just for just to show proof that it was locked in case somebody tries to break in, which a lot of people do. And then they deface the property, whether it's drawn pentagrams on the walls or doing something crazy or doing satanic rituals.
Right.
That happens a lot there. So,
and FYI, every inch of that building on the outside is wired with cameras.
Yeah.
Do not go up there illegally. Do not. Have respect for the property and the people who own and run that. I can say that, the fact that we had some, two of the people that we had with us went on a prior investigation with us when we went to Bobby Mackey's in Wilder, Kentucky. They did wonderful then. And then we also had my brother and Rodney's friend, Joe, who went with us. It was legitimately their first investigation ever. They did absolutely amazing. And I definitely, I want them to come back on investigations with us.
Yeah, and Joe, for most people who don't know this yet, if you'll learn, in future live videos of ours, we're in recovery. I'm actually getting ready to celebrate 9 years clean this month, which is amazing. Angela's going on your 5th year?
Yep, next month.
Yeah, she's going on her 5th year. One thing with Joe is we met in recovery back in 2012, 2013. And me and this guy, we bumped heads a lot. We bumped heads a lot, man. We couldn't stand each other. How awesome is it that we're getting along today and we actually got to do an investigation together? I mean, that means a lot to me. I'm not trying to get emotional on my video here, our video, but it was pretty awesome, to be able to have him come out and, him and her brother come out on their very first investigation. And it's not just a very first investigation, but man, it turned out to be great. On the very first investigation, you would hope that you'd be able to catch a lot of stuff, but there's times where you will get some stuff. There might be times where you get a lot of stuff, and there might be times where you don't get a lot of stuff, because around 12 a.m., around 12 at night, it was so slow. And we were saying that to each other, as a team, because, we had 3 different groups of our teams, that went to different parts of the buildings, but once we met up, we all said, man, it's really slow. But I'm telling you, around 12 o'clock, it got live and things started happening, and it was just off the hook.
Well,
after 12,
the main reason, that going into or before the investigation, we were making plans on teams and and so on and so forth. And as much as I love Rodney, I wanted me and him.
Don't let her lie to you guys.
Shut up. I wanted me and him because me and him we are sensitive. We do pick up on a lot of things. So I kind of wanted me and him to be split from one another so we could get our own take on the building and everything that we experienced. And then we could collaborate at the end, because I felt that would be more
beneficial for our team than to, not just for our team, but for us to be able to, brush up on our, the sensitive situation.
Right. And two, me and Rodney feel like spirits tend to follow us. It's just how it is.
And we don't freak out over it,
No.
It's just.
I find it intriguing.
It is.
We have little things that happen here at home.
Even when we're at work, sometimes it just happens. We've learned to live with it.
Right. Like, okay, for instance, and people may think I'm crazy. So yesterday, I have little things that happen to me, on a normal, throughout my normal daily life, and I know there are signs, from loved ones. For instance, my dad, both my parents are passed away. Um, one of my dad's favorite songs was "We Are the Champions" by Queen.
Queens.
Okay, and every time I hear that song, I'm kind of, it's weird because I'm kind of mentally going through things, even though sometimes I may not realize that I'm mentally going through things. And like I'll be driving in the car by myself, and that song will come on the radio, and it doesn't come on often. I listen to a specific radio station, 95.7 QMF, and that song doesn't come on there that often. So, when I'm driving in the car by myself and I'm kind of having a day, and then all of a sudden I hear, I turn the radio on and bam, there's that song. It's like, I say to myself, okay, Dad, I know you're here with me. I know those things, and I have, I spoke to a psychic medium friend of ours, actually not too long after we all met as a team with this lady, wonderful woman, and just to, I guess, more or less test her, everyone on our team had her do a reading for us.
Except me, I didn't get one done. I had enough proof, though.
Right. And she was spot on with absolutely everything that she told every one of us. So with that being said, I was discussing with her that I have dreams, like real life, very vivid dreams of modern day situations with my past loved ones in my dreams. And she said, wow. She said, I don't even have that ability. She said, that is a very unique ability. She said, your loved ones are coming to you in your dreams, and they're letting you know that they're there with you all the time. And I have those kind of dreams very, very frequently, of modern day situations with my mother, and with me the age I am now. And she passed away when I was 18 years old. So me and Rodney have we have some very unique abilities.
Yeah, I like to listen a lot, or sometimes I'm forced to.
Hush.
Like when we do live YouTube videos, I'm good at listening, not explaining. So yeah, I don't know. I just have things that's happened in my past. I've never physically seen a ghost. But I still believe there's other reasons that, there's other things that's happened that caused me to believe, and I don't deny it. It don't scare me that things follow me. I'm just slowly getting used to it happening, whether it's here, whether it's at work or whatever. And it's weird because every time I work somewhere or something and people realize who I am and what we do, and some of these people finally realize, dude, I watch your videos on YouTube, I watch your guys' team and this and this and that, and they get all excited and stuff. And it's weird because sometimes I'm like, after they realize who I am, all of a sudden things start happening. where they feel like somebody's behind them or they're hearing random sounds that shouldn't be happening, or whether that's mind playing tricks on them or they're really hearing things. Who knows. When we first pulled up into Waverly Hills, I actually had the camcorder, and I had heard something, and I said, "Did you guys hear that?" And Angela says, "Oh, it's just probably the motorcycle." But then my buddy Victor, who's the head person of our team, he says, "When you said, 'Did you hear that?' and Angela says it must be the motorcycle, you could actually hear a woman in the background that says 'welcome.'" And it was weird because you can actually, I mean, you can literally hear it. You can't mistake it. And I like when that happens, whenever not just getting a response, but being able to make out what it says or what you believe it says. But it was so prominent that, for me, I couldn't mistake what it says. You know, Whenever we play back audio and stuff like that, we always try to give the client a chance to say what they believe it says before we let them know what we think it is as a team. So
Right.
we try to give them that opportunity first.
Well, like when the tour guide was giving us, or giving us the foreground and the background on the whole building, and everything, he actually showed us a picture that was taken like 15 years ago by two women that were there on an
Is that
investigation.
the one in the window?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was taken in front of a specific window in the atrium on the second floor. Well, we decided to, different groups of us, as we went to walk through the building or whatever, we decided that we were going to take pictures in front of this window. And all of us as different team members, me and one of our team members, Jessica, she was the one that decided. She said, "Angela, I want you over here. Let's take a picture in front of this window." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we took like 3 different pictures, one with flash and 2 different pictures with the I guess it's like the nightscape, no flash, that highlights the night or whatever, on her camera, on her phone. In one of those pictures, there was a face in the window in the dark.
It looks similar to the one from 10, 15 years ago.
Yes, and it looks like the opposite angle of the face that was in that picture that he showed us. So immediately we had to run show him. And he was like, "Wow." He's like, "That's the same face." We had so many experiences. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, did you see any shadow figures?
I thought I'd seen a few, but I didn't know if I was the same as you, as I didn't know if my eyes were playing tricks on me. And of course, when you go into parts of that building, some areas is not as dark as some until you go like deeper in parts of the other sides of the building. Then it gets a little bit darker, then it gets pitch dark. Like when you go down the death tunnel, which we went down the death tunnel, and I'm telling you, that thing was easy going down, but coming up, you had to work at getting back up because it goes back up at, I think, a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Even if you're in good health, man, you're going to be huffing and puffing by the time you get up there.
He said it was 157 yards
to
the bottom, something like that.
It was like a football field and a half length, and so it was pretty long. For me, I think I was having a claustrophobia attack.
Probably.
And I think what set that off was a fear of heights, and what triggered that was looking at the left side of the wall, which is just the ramp side, where it's just a smooth, walk all the way down. I looked at the wall and I looked at it going up, and that triggered me, and I was like, nope, I got to get out of here. And it had nothing to do with being in fear of what's been through there, what could be in there. That had nothing to do with it at all. I promise you that. But, it had everything to do with the whole claustrophobia thing. You're stuck in that long tunnel. You don't know how long it's going to be before you get up to the top again. And it was just crazy.
Yeah, that was that wasn't too bad for me. Although I was in the very I was in the very back of the group coming back up, and of course there's dark behind you, and everything echoed in there. So you never know, I I don't know. I get the feeling sometimes that there's something behind me, especially when I'm in dark, and I'm at the end of a group. It's just, I guess it's just a thing,
Yeah.
and I kept looking behind me with a flashlight repetitively. Our tour guide told us, he was like, it's best if you don't use flashlights because you'll get you will get a better effect of the building. Well, there's some places, let me tell you, in that building, especially that death tunnel, it is so freaking dark in there, you can't even see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah, so you have to have some type of light, and just having a night vision camera, it don't do you no justice because there's so many, I mean, it was cool that they had all the hallways and everything clear and free of any kind of anything, so you wasn't gonna trip on nothing, but
Oh, until you walked up on that chair that was sitting at the end of the hallway.
yeah, I did do no, I walked into the guardrail. Yeah, I walked into the guardrail and that hit me right in the hip.
Jessica walked up on that chair and scared the crap out of her.
Yeah.
Oh.
But when you guys heard that banging upstairs or whatever, me and the guys, we were standing down on the same level or below you guys because we had seen you guys when you guys were on the fifth floor and you guys were out on the roof. That's around the time I said we were going to play a little joke on you guys. It was right after that when I said that. You guys had already went in the building or whatever. And that's when I said that, hey, why don't we spice things up? Why don't we try to scare the women real quick? And that's when we kind of went through the building. We were following out where you guys were at. We were trying to follow where you guys were at. And by listening to your voices and stuff. And then we got to that door where our tour guide explained to us that's where the marks are from the hatchet where the kids were trying to get out and they couldn't get the door to open. We went to that door, we closed that door, and we ended up, somebody banged on something. I don't know what one of the guys banged on, but either way, we know we closed that door and we took off running at one point, and
well, when that happened with the loud bang and the door opening, that was before we ever went up to the fifth floor.
Was it?
Yes, that was before, because we did the fourth floor, and then we decided once we came back down the hallway and we seen that the door was open, we went out into the stairwell, and Jessica decided to set her phone up on video record and set it in the window sill in the stairwell to see if we could, when we went up to the fifth floor, if we could catch the door opening on camera while we were up there.
Yeah.
And of course it didn't happen. That I'm sure if it happened, she would have been more than apt to tell us. But at the same time, when we were on the fifth floor, we were out on the roof, and I had the SB7 spirit box running the whole time we were up there. Well, we were out on the roof and taking a quick break. And plain as day, across the spirit box, I got the name Jacob. Later when we all collaborated, I guess you all got the name Jacob.
Yeah.
Or Jason.
One of the women on our Facebook page was saying we were asking like that, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, we were supposed to ask for a little boy named Timmy, but at the same time, the tour guide told us, don't just ask for Timmy, ask for any of the children that are there, because there is on the fifth floor, which is the floor where the nurse was found hung. There is, if you go to the right, there's a big open room up there, and that was the children's room. And, when we were up there exploring, we went out when we went out the left end of the roof.
Yeah.
And then we came back and we went through out the right end, out the children's room. And we had the light up ball, that one of them touch sensor light up balls. And we set it in the middle of the floor in the room. And we asked, if anybody was there, if they could touch the ball, that it would light up. And, and I had the spirit box going the whole time. And we were asking questions. And we asked, hey, do you want us to move away from it? And it said yes over the spirit box. So we stepped away over towards the exit door onto the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And as we did that, I was still asking questions myself. And I was like, who's here with us? If there's anybody here with us, can you let us know that you're here? And all of a sudden, plain as day over the spirit box, it said, it's a nurse aide. Plain as day. And then literally the light or the ball lit up. And I was like, I looked at the girls and I was like, I was kind of shocked for a second because of what the spirit box said. Because we were on the 5th floor. For one, we're in a tuberculosis hospital. So there was nurses and nurse aides all over the building, at one point in time. But how convenient was it for me to get that exact response when we were on the 5th floor where the nurse was found hung?
That's weird. Yeah, and nobody knows how the nurse, was hung. First of all, she wasn't hung in her room. She was hung outside of the room, and it was coming from a pipe that was embedding in the ceiling.
Wasn't it something like a light fixture or something?
Yeah,
he said.
Yeah, and not only that, nobody knows what happened to the baby because she was pregnant at the time. Like, nobody knows what happened to the baby. They don't know because she apparently had an affair with one of the doctors there at the hospital, and they don't know if he did something to her or what happened. Nobody knows. Anybody who says, and this is coming from the guy who did the tour for us, he said, if there's any other thing said outside of what I just said to you, which is facts, it's a lie. So, yes, they did find her hanging, but it was outside in the hallway in the corridor area, and nobody knows what happened to her baby that she supposedly had, whatnot, with the doctor that she had an affair with at Waverly Hills in Louisville, Kentucky. So anything outside of that, it is just it's fiction,
right?
Because the actual facts is what he told us.
And he said logically, by the records, she was not a very tall woman, first of all. So the fact that they found her hanging and there was no means of how she got up there, it kind of leads to believe that she did not hang herself.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just speculation. It's not facts, but we all have our own views on how things happen, could have happened, whatnot, but there's no actual facts to back that up. But, as far as we know, he told us the facts that he knows, which has been corroborated through paperwork, whatnot, or actual witness accounts, that's been passed on throughout the years. But other than that, it's just speculation.
Right. And I don't know how you feel about, so the story that we were told in our tour about the 4th floor, being basically the floor of the forgotten, the people who were sick and nobody wanted them. So we were told that the fourth floor was, any of the spirits on the fourth floor were harmless. They were more questionable about us than we were of them, pretty much. They were kind of scared of us.
Real quick now, and because we ain't got much time before we end this live video, but I don't know if this was Waverly Hills or if I watched another show before I went to sleep, and this is where I got it from. But if I think it was from the show, not Waverly Hills, where if you were disabled or whatnot, you had to get yourself out of bed and you had to get there, and if you didn't, you basically there was another kitchen area that you could go to.
Oh, that was Waverly.
Okay, because I couldn't remember if that was Waverly Hills or another show.
Yeah, because he said that if, back in the 1920s, that
everybody had to dress like really nice.
Yeah.
You couldn't just dress up in just whatever. No, you had to be nice and proper.
To the hilt in dress clothes to come downstairs to the dining room and eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And if you couldn't get up and dress yourself or function, you still had to, you either A, couldn't leave your room and you had to be served in your room, or B, there was another kitchenette area on each floor. I think it was by the nurses' station area.
I think so.
On each floor where they could, you still had to get dressed, but you couldn't leave the floor. You had to go to the dining room on that floor. But me personally, with the fourth floor, it seemed like there was some kind of dark presence.
Yeah, and that's what another lady said on her Facebook group site, that she felt, she had said this before, I believe we went to Waverly Hills. I just never seen the comment, but she felt like the fourth floor held more darkness than any other level. But we did everything in that building. We laid on the bottom slat in the morgue. We did all kinds of different stuff. I didn't really feel any different laying on the bottom rack of the morgue thing where they would put the bodies. I didn't have any, I didn't feel nothing bad. I didn't feel like I was going to be attacked by nothing or anything like that.
No.
But everybody has a different opinion on what they felt and what they went through. But for me personally, I didn't have no bad feelings, or I didn't feel like I was being watched or anything like that. It just made me feel like I was just laying in a little confined area and I was just chilling there with the camera. But that's about it.
That, that was an interesting experience. Of course, those tables used to slide out. Of course, they don't anymore. They're God only knows how many years old. So you got to kind of crawl in there, kind of shimmy your body up inside there. But, we're alive. Anybody who was inside there was already dead. So, experiencing what people go through being put in basically in a freaking cooler.
Yeah.
Was kind of interesting. We also had, and I'm not going to mention any specific names of any of our group members as to who this happened to, but
and we're going to close with this.
Yes. One of our group members that was on my team, I feel like got a very, very serious attachment. I'm not sure from what.
A couple times.
It happened, yes, on 2 separate occasions
Same night, just at different times.
on the same exact floor, which was the 4th floor. Um, the first time it happened, we weren't actually on the floor. We were in the stairwell, and it happened as we passed by the door to the 4th floor, headed downstairs. And it creeped all of us out. All of us that were on that team, on my team. We, as an entire team, at the end of the investigation, we all went back to the floor, minus one person. We all went back to the floor, the 4th floor, and the entire rest of the team got to experience what happened, except it was even worse. And like it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
What was your take on that?
I'm still stuck in suspense. I don't know. Part of me wants me to believe it really happened, and part of me wants me to believe that it's not. It didn't really happen. That's just me being honest. I can believe in a lot of things, but the person who it happened to, I question it. I really do. I really do. I'm not saying that they're lying or not, but I'm just they're they're she's not a bad person at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not attacking her character. I'm just saying I'm questioning the quality of the situation and the source it's coming from. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I know.
I want more profound. I want more profound proof that it's real. Although I say it all the time. I can't believe it unless I'm there. Although I was there, I still have my doubts. It's not that I don't believe in possessions or anything like that or attachments. I'm just considering the situation and the source.
Wow.
And this is from a skeptic. So that's why I'm saying, first of all, you're skeptic, and then all this. And I said it before we even went to the investigation. This person who's a skeptic or claims to be skeptic, whether they're really skeptic or not, which is hard to find, believing, knowing that this person grew up as a child with her mother doing witchcraft and black magic and all this other stuff and playing with Ouija boards and tarot cards and all that stuff. So how can you see all that stuff and you talk about it and still be a skeptic? That to me personally is asking for attention. Okay, so that's why I question, the situation and the source it's coming from. If it was coming from somebody else, like one of her other teammates, or something like that, I might believe it. But considering the situation and the source, sometimes people are emotionally unstable. At it not scientifically because I don't believe in that, but just considering the source, I just don't know. I'm not saying that it didn't really happen. I'm not saying it did or it didn't. I'm just saying considering the situation and the source. If it came from somebody else, I might have been more apt to believe it. But to me, right now, as far as right now, I don't believe it. I just don't. That's just my opinion, and that's my opinion when it comes to the paranormal and the stuff that we've been doing. Like, I have to have more proof. That's just me.
Well, I know.
That's one moment in our whole paranormal thing that I'm actually doubting something.
I know. I've been around our team member on multiple investigations. I've been around her outside of investigations. What I seen when it was just the 4 of us,
Yeah,
in that stairwell, I'm telling you right now.
I don't know
That
why you
wasn't-
guys didn't have cameras rolling.
That wa-
Why you guys
our
didn't have a
cam-
camera?
Our camera was dead.
I don't know, maybe it used the energy to do whatever, but I don't know. Like I said,
And I didn't think, I was more worried about her in that situation and figuring out what was going on with her than reaching in my pocket and grabbing my phone and videotaping.
I don't know.
Because the look in her eyes was unlike anything I've ever seen from her. Like when Jessica looked at her and said, Angela, make her stop. Like Jessica was freaked out. Like
This is what we
absolutely.
signed up for. This is what we signed up for.
I know. And you know, and I tried to take control of the situation. And when I tried to take control of the situation and try to get her to snap out of whatever was going on, that's when she jetted. Like jetted down the stairs. Like left us. Jetted. Like I've never seen her run down a set of stairs so fast in my life. Okay.
Like I said, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just I don't know.
It just you know, and part of me feels like maybe because she is like I said, me and her were calling out. We did get permission to do that. We were calling out.
Yeah, and don't do any of the things that we're talking about
God,
in this video.
Please
Do
don't.
not do none of this stuff unless you're a professional and you've been doing this for some time, or at least have somebody that is leading you during that time that knows what they're doing, because this stuff can get dangerous, and it can be really, really dangerous.
We were told of a very dark entity
on that floor. We're going to end this video. That way we can get this rendered on our channel. But either way, that's just where I stand at it. I need more proof. I need more profound because we're going to talk about this after we end this video, but I need more profound proof. Something just for me personally, considering the source and the situation. I don't know. I wasn't there when it first happened. I didn't see her face or anything like that the second time it happened. All I know is they asked me to pray, and then I got so angry when it happened the second time. I turned around, I went back in one of the rooms, and I started praying again. That was it. Then we ended the night. But either way, guys, that's our experience with Waverly Hills. It's a great place to investigate. We are going to go back, possibly volunteer to help people do their investigations or get them set up with their tours or whatnot. So hopefully that's in the future. Me and my buddies already talked about it last night. So we're going to see what happens, guys, and see what happens. But, if you see this page, if you watch these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. So we'll see where it goes from there. But as soon as we can, we will do another one. We try to do this as much as possible, but we work a lot. And right now we're kind of homebound right now because we got snow and sleet outside. So we are stationary here at home. So that's why we had the time to do it today. But either way, good night, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if there's any questions you guys want to ask us, feel free to comment on this, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So either way, guys, you guys have a great night, and stay spooky, as our friend always says. If I can get this thing to end here. Well, I know it stopped right there. Here, see if you can pull it up on our page here. For some reason, it's not. All right, there it goes.